And hello all. It is pretty late at night. Well, not really late for me. It's right about midnight. Just a few days before Halloween. And if you remember last year, we done a night visit to a place called Payne Road, which is supposed to be this really haunted, spooky road. And, nothing really happened. We had our roadie, David Undead, with us on that special. But tonight we have another familiar face from our Randonautica video, our friend AJ.
Hi guys.
So, I done a poll on Instagram of where I should go for this episode, and it was between returning back to Bull Mountain and Handy Mountain, which have featured on the channel a few times, and everyone voted for Handy Mountain almost overwhelmingly. So we're going to head back there tonight. Now, if you have, if you haven't been following my channel, you can go back. It was actually the first episode of On the Road with Vincent that was uploaded directly to YouTube. I went up Handy Mountain and I told some stories about my family up there. It's where a lot of my family is from. Some really spooky stuff that's supposedly happened up there, some true stories, and some things that have happened to me. So you can go back to that video. I'll link that in the description for more reference of some stuff I'm talking about. But I'll reiterate a few things, especially for AJ. Now, she's been with me up there. We've done our Randonautica video a little up there. And you've been on the road a few times. What is your opinion of it?
I don't really get any bad vibes from it when I'm up there. But, the story that you told me, the thing that happened to you, kind of definitely freaks me out.
About the steering wheel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of freaks me out when I think about that up there, because just car accidents freak me out, so that's scary. But besides that, I think all those stories, true or not, I think they're really, really interesting, and I just think it's really pretty up there, and it is spooky regardless, so I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I actually voted for it over Bull Mountain. I voted for it.
Yeah, it's, naturally you won't be able to really see a whole lot of it at night, but it is a pretty spooky place, whether you believe any of this or not. But we're going to go up there. We're going to sit at a couple places for a little while, see if anything happens. I'll explain a few things here along the way. And, this isn't going to be a really fancy cut episode either. Just kind of, this is more or less a live, on the scene thing, even though it's not live. But, we're just going to get on the road, and I'll point out a few places of interest. We might take a few extra minutes at a couple of these places, the extra spooky ones.
We're going to invite the ghosts to come sit with us.
Yeah.
See if they do.
Yeah, if there's any ghosts on the highway, there's still an open seat. There's some stuff in the seat, but, they're ghosts. But,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm sure they could sit through it. So, yeah, I guess we're going to go ahead and get on the road, and we'll see you all shortly. Okay, so we are currently climbing up to the top of Handy Mountain, coming in from the Dobbins side of the road. Now, an interesting thing, here in the last year, they've actually steamrolled the road. They haven't topped it, but it is a bit smoother right here getting up to the top of the mountain. Pretty sure it goes back to dirt here in just a second. Now, not really sure what you can see out here. Maybe if I turn the light off, knock all this glare off. But it is still pretty clear. They cut a lot of trees through here, and you can see way on out. There's the lights out there of the Belews Creek power plant. And
Is that what those big lights are?
yeah.
Where is that at?
Around Stokesdale.
Okay.
Not far from where you were earlier today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right around Belews Lake. So yeah, that's a good bit out through here. You know, this isn't really the spookiest part of the road, but it's, if you're not used to driving, then yeah, this can be kind of sketchy through here. And now we are back on the dirt. And I've mentioned before, this is actually the road that I learned to drive on. Driving these, these really sharp hairpin turns back here, these switchbacks. I guess that was just my dad's theory. If I could drive that, I could drive anything. So I guess it worked all right. So as I've mentioned before, this is where a lot of my dad's side of the family is from, up in this mountain. And this mountain is actually, there really is no handy mountain geographically. It's the junction of Pikes Mountain and Willard Mountain, but the Handy family used to live up here, so locally it became known as Handy Mountain. I don't know when a lot of the stories really started up here, but I guess a lot of it just had to do with all the really bad things that happened up here. And here in a second, there'll be a spot I'll point out where there's a road that'll break off to the left here, and that's actually one of the only access roads to this abandoned village that lies at the bottom of the mountain, and that's actually where my family's from. If you go back to that first video, I show some pictures and some video clips from that, and it's really spooky down there too. There was a lot of bad things happened down there. A lot of bad people lived down there. There was one who's actually a distant relative of mine. He was one of the last ones living up there. He used to beat his wife and kids half to death. He would put flour around the house when he left to make sure there were no footprints going in or out. And he would chain them to the beds, chain them in the cellar, and if they moved, he would beat them within an inch of their life. He was a pretty evil man. Then there was another one. I actually showed his house on the show, and his son was kind of crazy anyway. Well, I shouldn't say crazy. He wasn't right in the head, but this man, he was wicked. The man actually tried to kill my grandpa. Swung an axe at him, and my grandpa blocked the axe with a shovel or something. And the man's son drank a bottle of Red Devil Lye to try to kill himself.
What is that again?
It just lye, like drain cleaner. Makes soap out of lye, but yeah, it's just a cleaner. He drank a bottle of that to try to kill himself. Didn't work. He got sent to psychiatric home, and when they were going to send him home, he didn't want to go back home to his dad, so he hung himself there and killed himself. So, yeah, there's some pretty messed up stuff happened down there, and there are also legends that there was a cryptid down in the valley and up in this mountain. They said it acted like it was a cross between a mountain lion and a bear, because they said it would cry like a woman, it could mimic baby crying, scream like a woman, run, but it would walk on its hind legs, like it was bipedal in movement, and people would see it walking upright. And my grandpa actually shot at it once. Like, again, this is all what I've been told. I never saw this thing, but I've been told my grandpa shot at it, and it actually chased his uncle once, chased him down through the valley. So, I mean, it's some spooky stories. My dad just used to tell us this stuff a lot when we'd come up through here. And yeah, a lot of that probably aided in me being a little paranoid to drive up here. It doesn't really bother me as much now. So, right here, so this is actually the road. Now it's a driveway now, so not going to go down there because people do live down there. But that's actually the access road to get down to the old village. The other end is down in Dry Pond, and again, it's private property, so I'm not going to go down there at night. I would like to get back down there in the day sometime, just to bring you all along, because it really is spooky, and I know you were wanting to go with me.
Yeah,
down there.
do.
Yeah,
really bad. I'm not going by myself.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to shine my light because there's a house here, but here ahead is the Arrington Cemetery. Shine. So, I don't really know anything about that cemetery or anyone who's buried in it. All I've ever known is kind of spooky. But, so back in 2010, my friend Claude and I were riding up through here. And it was right about there, that's essentially the peak of this road, the peak of the mountain. We crossed that point, and we're coming down through here. We're starting to go downhill a little bit. And we got right here. And it felt like somebody just ripped the steering wheel out of my hand. And I panicked. I turned back. I overcorrected, started fishtailing. Car was going all kind of directions. And about right here, I finally slammed on my brakes. The car did a complete 180 and then kind of went back, and I ended with, you can't see it here, but there is a pretty steep cliff right on the other side of us right now. And it was about right here that my car finally stopped, and the front bumper was hanging right over the edge of this cliff. So, yeah, that was pretty terrifying to me.
That freaks me out big time.
Yeah, see, like, whether or not you believe this road is haunted or not at all, that alone kind of swayed me from coming back up here for a long time. Now, I would drive up here during the day, but it took a long time before I'd ever come up here at night. And I've been up here at night alone a couple times, but even that bothers me. Like, I can't, there's still just something about this road. Like, I guess because of all I know, I know about it, all I've been told about it. I guess if you're not really from here and you don't know any of these stories, the road might mean nothing to you. And which, just like AJ, we on the channel, I've been down Creasy's Chapel Road quite a few times. I've told stories about some murders that have happened there, all kind of different stuff. But that road really doesn't bother you any. There's another road,
like right next to it.
Yeah, and that one bothers you But there's nothing, like, I've heard no stories about that road, and I've never got any kind of weird feeling. But for whatever reason, that one bothers you.
Yeah, and I couldn't say why. I just, like, when I was on Creasy Chapel, like, obviously I went because of all the stories you had told me, and I was like, ooh, this is gonna be spooky, whatever. And then it was spooky, but wasn't a big deal. And then I went on Elk Creek, and as soon as I turned on that road, I was like, ugh. Like, and I don't know how to explain it, because I'm not about to say, like, oh, I got bad vibes,
Yeah.
you know, really. But I just felt really weird and, like, uneasy on that road. And I've never heard anything, any kind of stories. You've never told me anything,
Yeah.
so I don't know why that happened. But
Well, it's like also the Hatcher Cemetery.
mhm.
So I done a video there last year, and that place used to freak me out nonstop. Like I hadn't gone back there for years, just because something about that place, I couldn't stand the feeling I'd get when I was there. Went last year, absolutely nothing. Like, it was just calm as it could be. I'm like, okay, I feel perfectly fine here.
Yeah, that's weird. The times I've been up there were they were pretty spooky for me. I felt really uneasy up there.
So, something though that was kind of interesting. Some of you might have seen this. Back there at the spot that I said that Claude and I almost went off the cliff. When we were doing our Randonautica video, it was actually right below that it wanted us to go. Like, that's where the pinpoint came up, was right below that spot.
That is true.
Yeah, that was.
Did we even piece that together then?
I don't think so. Like, I don't think it was till I was editing it. I was like, this is actually that spot, and it was just a weird thing because it was way down the mountain. There's no way we could have walked down there to it. So yeah, that was just kind of an odd coincidence, I guess.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay.
I would love to go down there.
Yeah, that'll actually take you down into the valley too, a different way.
What does that paper say, you reckon?
Probably posted. So me and Claude actually used to set off fireworks in these old tobacco barns. We'd toss firecrackers, black cats, everything up in them. Okay.
That's major spook right
So
there.
here is the old handy house. Now this is a spooky, spooky place.
I want to take a picture.
The fact that there's still a screen door up. Now the good thing is, this is after, it's almost 1 o'clock right now. There's nobody on this road. But yeah, this house is just always been just really creepy to me.
Still curtains too.
Yeah. And now we were up here about a year ago. We just went on an adventure. And that house didn't bother you, right?
Not at the time,
But
not as bad. It just bothered me more right now. But this place, I was like, oh no.
yeah, this old tobacco barn here. And there's still stuff inside it.
It's still, no. I don't like it.
There's a mattress in there.
And a door. I don't like it at all.
So we're coming up on an area that was kind of locally known as Hainan Hollow. It's just, it's another little valley up here. One of my great-grandpas was actually buried down in this valley. But this is actually somewhere down here is where it's expected a murder took place in the early 20th century. Now, another relative of mine was actually a witness to it, and there's all kind of stories that have been told over the years, but apparently, like, what a lot of people believe was that this man came along and he wanted this other woman. He come up here and was interested in this woman who was already married, had kids. Well, the man went to the two sons and told them, hey, if you make your father go away, I'll give you more money than you can ever imagine. And somebody said they walked up on him building a box, and they said, well, that's to put, that's to bury the slaughtered hogs in, but it wasn't the time of year to kill hogs. And then somebody said they saw someone burying something, and my relative, I think, actually might have possibly saw the murder take place, or maybe he was one of the ones who saw the box building or the burying. I can't remember now. I've been told dozens of times over the years, but it all runs together after a while.
Yeah.
But it was so, like, it got to the point, like, where I think one of the brothers, when he was dying, he was telling the story. He's like, no, we killed him. And then the other one was like, he's just talking out of his head. He don't know what he's saying. And then when he died, he actually started saying that he was buried somewhere. But some of them, like when they were getting on up in age, like the family would just kind of gather around and make sure they didn't say anything up until their dying breath.
Mm-hmm.
And the FBI supposedly actually came up here back then. This is the early 20th century. So it came up to this little middle of nowhere and, explore. So that or that's a big deal at that point. But it's actually right here on my left, coming up on Hainan Hollow. And now there's all kind of other stories about this place. Like, my grandma said years ago that a ball of fire, they were living down through here, and a ball of fire shot through the house. And now, after, knowing what ball lightning is, she figures that's what it probably was. But it said it just shot through the house, went through, and went out another door without hitting anything. But, oh, there's a big deer right there. Like, my dad said when they'd be through here when they were younger, my grandparents would get so, like, paranoid if they would shine their flashlight up into the sky. They'd say, don't do that, put that down. And then if it started storming, they'd say, all right, everyone get in one room. Mm-hmm. All get in the same room. And don't know what any of that was about.
Were you, like, was it a matter of you couldn't talk during thunderstorms?
Yeah.
That was a thing.
Yes. Like, I don't know what the deal with that is,
yeah.
But he said that was what they'd be. And he said you could see, like, he said people claim they saw, like, headless bodies walking through here. They'd see balls of light going across the valley. So you can't really see it on the camera. I've showed it before in videos, but this is it. I'll turn.
Let me roll this one down.
So now way out there is the Blues Creek plant. So it's all a good ways out. But we're going to go ahead and pull over here just for a little bit and see if anything happens. See if we see anything. So those lights way out in the distance are the Belews Creek power plant. I don't know exactly how many miles, probably as the crow flies, about 30 miles. Uh, can't really see it from here, but Hanging Rock, Moore's Knob Mountain are just to the right of it, and the Saratown Towers are to the right of that. Can't really see it from this spot here, but you know, granted, I don't really expect to see anything up here, but it's still spooky to be up here. Knowing this history and just being out in the elements here, especially stepping out of the car. Now, I will tell one other spooky story that happened to me. So, I'll shine my flashlight here right before we leave, just in case anybody should see it. I don't want to alarm anybody. But there is a cemetery down here where I said my great-grandpa is buried and some other of my family. Now, years ago, a friend of mine and I were out at that cemetery one evening. I was showing her, my family's graves and telling her some of the stories. I'll admit I was getting kind of freaked out. So I started I said, I guess we need to get going. The sun was going down, so we come back up the hill. But as we're walking up the hill, we both distinctly heard laughter. Now, it probably was just carried over, carried from the wind on one of these other ridges through here, other side of this valley. But we also distinctively heard the words, "Don't go yet," as we're walking away. We both heard it, and I honestly wonder if she would still remember that if I was to ask her, if I was to ever see her again. But, again, I'm sure it's just all coincidence. It was coming from somewhere else, but it was enough to, really get under my skin that day. So I'm going to shine my light across the valley here just real quick. Naturally, you really can't see anything out here. Down there's the cemetery. And just to tempt fate, do something my dad was told not to. Shine the flashlight up in the air. Now, what that was supposed to have done, who knows? Is that what's going to summon the spooks to come in our car? Maybe.
Hope so.
Okay, so I did not get this on camera. I don't know what's going on, but we heard like some banging against the car door while we were standing outside. So we got back in the car and we actually we started riding, and there it is again. Nah, I'm just messing with y'all. Nah, nothing's happened. We've been here a good little while. Nothing happened.
I'm just trying so hard not to laugh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I could do those videos with a straight face. I can't be that clickbaity.
Yeah.
Again, there's some spooky stuff that's happened on this road. I mean, some really dark things have happened here. It is creepy, but in reality, again, it's all what you make of it. Just like we were on Payne Road last year, absolutely nothing happened. Now, if you start driving down a road and you get it in your head that, yeah, this road is definitely haunted, something spooky is going to happen while I'm here. Yeah, I mean, you're going to let your mind get the better of you, and
That's anywhere.
yeah, that, be it a haunted house, so to say, or a road, you're going to start hearing things or seeing things. Now, would I like to see something out here? Of course. I would love to get a few million viewers to finally have proof that there's a ghost out here or something. Yeah, I would love to be start making money with this. And that might be the only way I'll get viewers. But again, it's just, I would love to see it, to prove me wrong, but what are you going to do? There's a few other places I still want to get back to at night. I want to go back to the Devil's Tramping Ground at night. Been there during the day. And, there's even some more local places I'd like to get back to. But, maybe I'll get to do that some more next year. I'm going to kind of try to do a few different things with the channel next year. But, maybe we can get out to do a few more of these night visits then, because it's just fun. I love exploring stuff, and especially at night. Like I said, it's going on 2 in the morning now, and it's just fun, especially do right around Halloween. We might go ahead and call it quits a little early once we get to the end here, and we might see something else. We might just explore something else for the fun of it, but really, I don't think we're going to get much more out of Handy Mountain Drive. I keep calling it Handy Mountain Road, but it's actually Handy Mountain Drive. I'm sure that's irritating a few locals who are watching this. But, yeah. I mean, it's just nice to get out here, though.
Yeah, I like it here a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of Handy Mountain Drive. Now we're back on Old Orchard Loop right now. Now, this road used to be a lot creepier than it is now. It used to be, the other half was paved, and this, it was all dirt at one time, but even up to about 10 years ago, the other half was paved. This half was all dirt. And I actually dated a girl, lived up in this mountain up here, and there's a little meadow right down here at the bottom of her driveway, and that's where my car wouldn't make it up the hill, so I used to have to sit in this meadow in my car waiting. And when it was late at night, that was one of the spookiest places on earth, because you're just sitting down here in this bottom, and you're hearing all kind of stuff going on around you, and you don't see anything. It is pitch black through here. I could turn off my, going to the dash cam here, turning off the lights. There is no other light out here. It is pitch black. But again, I still love it through here. I would live here if given the chance. Well, do you have any final words on Handy Mountain Drive tonight?
Yeah, I love it a lot. I love coming up there even during the day. It doesn't matter, day or night. It's spooky at night. I think it's really pretty during the day. And, I wish something spooky would have happened, or we could have seen something. But even if we don't, it's still worth it, because I like it there anyways. I think it's a really nice place.
Yeah,
even despite its, bad history.
Yeah, and those stories just honestly make it more fun in a way.
Yeah.
Enough time has passed. Yeah, those are tragedies at one point.
Yeah.
Enough time has passed. It kind of adds to the atmosphere of it all.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we're gonna just ride around a little bit more. If we see anything else spooky, we'll let you know. We'll turn the cameras back on. If not, then we'll see you at the end of the road. All right, so we are finally off the road again. Been a pretty uneventful night. We've been out a good little while now. Been out for a few hours. Kind of uneventful, but again, like we said earlier, it's just fun, especially around Halloween, just being a few nights away. It's fun to get out and ride the spooky roads and look at spooky houses, see what we can see.
Yeah, it's fun even if we didn't see any ghosts.
What do you think was the spookiest thing to you the entire night?
the handy house this
Okay.
time, and that
The
barn.
tobacco barn.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about that barn for some reason, but the house really got me tonight. Actually, for some reason.
Yeah, that it actually did. Like, we're just shining that light on it. It's something about it. It seemed.
I think I paid more attention to it this time than last time because like something about seeing those curtains and stuff and like just kind of wondering what all is left in there and how
Yeah.
old that stuff must be. It's just kind of like, you know.
And it's funny, like, we stood outside the, over above Hainan Hollow. We stood out there for a long time, and
I didn't hear a sound.
yeah, didn't hear a sound, didn't see a thing, nothing.
And you even shined your flashlight in the sky.
Yeah, oh yeah, I was really doing some bad stuff there. But yeah, again, it's just fun. I actually thought about maybe if next year, if we're playing down around Greensboro or High Point, maybe going to Lydia's Bridge around then. Again, I don't believe any of this would get us anything on camera.
No, it'd be fun to go there
Yeah.
because I've heard that story so many times. I guess living in North Carolina, like I've heard about it so much.
Yeah, and I've been by it during the day,
Yeah.
but I've not been there at night like a lot of these places. But again, I think we're just gonna go ahead and call it a night here. Go ahead and try to get some rest. It's a Sunday night, so the work week's about to start back, and yeah, just stay tuned for more on the road with Vincent. We've got a couple more regular episodes coming still this season for the years out, and of course, more midnight movie reviews and another smoking hour or two before the year is out. So is there anything else you would like to say, AJ?
No, I don't guess so.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining me on what we tried to make a spooky expedition.
Yeah,
But
Tom.
oh well, definitely going to have her back on the show here in the next year. Probably actually on an episode of Next Exit, another episode of that. We've kind of had planned for a little while. So definitely stay tuned for all of that. Other than that, I guess we'll sign out. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.